And here's a continuation of the Hearthfire Roundtable finale. Welcome to a Skyrim Addict podcast, where I will discuss my adventures and misadventures through Skyrim. Join me. Add your stories, add your tales. Let's get into this thing.
We haven't done Thirst yet, have we?
No.
All right.
Well, there's two ways to do this. Anybody want to take these?
Sure. This was actually the first quest I did when I landed on the shores of Solstheim with Vikan, because he landed actually north of Thirsk Mead Hall, so he didn't even have a chance to go to the dead gold miner. He was completely, essentially, he had nothing. So he went and talked to. You go and you find Bujold, I forget what she's called at the beginning, the unlucky or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out that they've been kicked out of Thirsk Mead Hall by some Reeklings because they were all too drunk to defend themselves. So you can either tell her to spin and run up to Thirsk Mead Hall and then help the Reeklings defeat Bujold, or you can take Bujold's side. And I've always taken Bujold's side because of Lois McMaster Bujold. But anyway, great science fiction writer. So if you take her side, then you run up the hill and you fight the Reeklings and take over the hall. And I forget, there's a second half of that, isn't there? Where
Yeah, she's got to go to.
because she has to prove herself again to whoever it is.
Hank.
Hank, right? Yeah, Hank. Good old Hank. I don't have it up on USP. USP. Sorry. You got to take her and how does that work out? Who is it? Sorry,
I'm trying to find his name. I can't find his name.
Yeah.
You have to go there, and she has to grab hold of his axe,
Right.
and he will say whether she's worthy or not. But
Yeah.
he comes across and he speaks in her mind and your mind, and tells, yeah, you got kicked out by a bunch of Reeklings. You are not worthy. So you can't be the leader anymore. Nobody will be the leader. And
doesn't he offer the PC the chance to be the leader as well? I think I didn't take it, but
not that I know of.
No. Okay.
Hrothmund.
That's right. Yes.
Hrothmund the Red. That's who founded it. And you have to go to Hrothmund's Hall or something like that.
Yeah.
And she either says, "Oh well, we'll go back and we'll tell everybody that he gave me his blessing." And her excuse was that, well, he's the one who gave me his blessing in the first place.
Yeah.
And it went into ruin while he said that I should have been in charge. So screw him. He's dead. Who cares?
Yeah, I think I took her side on that one because I was low level and I just wanted to to grab as much loot as I could out of Thirsk Mead Hall.
Or the other side to say, well, no, I'm not going to lie, and then you fight.
Now you can also play it where you help the Reeklings, correct?
Right. Yeah. So you can help the Reeklings take the hall, and just basically kill off all the damn Nords.
I was at you. I ran across Thirsk just by running past it, and then you have like a little Reekling scout, I think, and he's like, "You follow, You follow me. You follow me. And you keep on asking him questions, and he just says the same thing again and again. And you go, all right, I get it. Fucking go, lassie. And, you follow him, and then you go and speak to the chief. And the chief kind of speaks the same sort of way, but he knows a lot more words. And he's saying that the Nords were here, but they were soft, and we kicked them all out. And was it you need to use strong, so can you go and get us? It's like, no, that was it. Tribekin stupid, so they scared off great Bilgamok. Please go and get Bilgamok. So you got to get some meat and then attract Bilgamok, which is a boar, and he's out not far on the opposite side of the lake. And you got to, and apparently this boar likes meat. Aren't boars vegetarians?
No.
Theoretically.
So yeah, I couldn't find any meat, so I finally found some. I had to steal it from some hawker meat from the Skull Village while they're all in their little circle. Run back up, got Bilgamok, brought him back, and then you have to go out and collect red grass, which is like the Sathcraw. Which I had loads of because I'm an alchemist, so I had like shit tons on the horse. So I came back and gave that to him, and then he's like, "Yeah, this is great. We're gonna have a party where we dance and we burn the Sathcraw. Have you looked at what Sathcraw does? It's like damage health, lingering damage health. They're all just gonna throw it on the fire in the middle of the room.
Oh my god!
Good luck with that, boys." And then he's like, "Oh, was it no?" Was it the Nords are down there, and they suck. They keep on fighting us. They want our whole back. You help us kill them. And I was like, well, shit, yeah, it's just a bunch of Nords. Let's go wipe them out. So you run down with the chief, kill them all, and then the chief turns around and goes, "You strong, you too strong." And he goes, "Old chief was strong, I stronger. So I killed chief, I now chief. You too strong, now we fight." So you and the chief fight. I don't think there's any way out of it.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah.
So then you fight the chief, kill the chief, and then you become the new chief of Thirst Call. And you can take a Reekling follower, and also every once in a while in a fight, some of your tribe kin will come and assist you in a fight.
That is actually really nice. The where the tribe will come help you. That's a pretty fun little.
I think you said something last time, Michael, that you had them coming out and help you out in Skyrim.
Oh God, I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, no, they definitely do because they've been doing that for me.
Oh, that is awesome because there's a few big fights they're going to be heading into pretty soon, and I wouldn't mind them showing up in a few of them.
Yeah, I mean they're great little helpers.
I gotta go and get was it Mayrune's razor? So I gotta go up and deal with the Forsworn and Draskua.
Oh yeah, it's good to have a few helpers there for sure.
Yeah.
There's also a little bit of a tail end to the other side of it if you play it through and if you follow Bujold's scheme, she gets renamed again, Bujold the Intrepid. But also if you interact with her husband, he's a master heavy armor trainer. So if you interact with him correctly, then he will give you he will give you heavy armor training. So there's a little bit of a buff there as well.
Yeah, you also you get a new blacksmith as well.
Yep.
You can trade with the blacksmith, but he has his own quest. I think you have to give him like loads of ebony ore and Stalrum ore. Yeah. Really? You want all the good ores? Why couldn't you have one corundum or something? Like,
Yeah.
I don't mind giving him Stalrum. So anyway,
I gave him a little ebony in the back.
In the back.
Excellent.
Oh man, a little ebony in the back.
A true assassin.
Oh my gosh. All right, so that was the Thirst Call, both sides of that. What do we have left? Karstag?
Karstag, yeah.
Oh man, what a battle that is.
I'm way underpowered for that right now, but I have done him a couple times.
Yeah, I'm just about the level where you want to go at him, because that is definitely up there with the toughest battles in the vanilla game.
I think a lot of people will say it's harder than the Ebony Warrior.
I agree. It is. I agree.
Yeah. I'm not too sure what happened because it was pretty weak fight. I'm only playing on whatchamacallit, on expert.
Yeah.
But I hit him with a few because I have the double dual cast, and I had Bolide, which is an apocalypse spell, and that does more damage the further it's got to travel before it hits him.
Ooh.
So while he was dealing with, at that point, I had the Reekling follower and Janessa, and I had them at the opposite side, and I ran to the opposite side of the palace, and I was flinging dual wield Bolides at him, and that got him down pretty quickly. Got him down, and then there was the the ice wraiths come out.
Oh yeah.
Which was a pain because they came straight over and killed me, so I had to start over again. So then I remembered, oh, you're right, remember the ice race. So I done it again, and then the ice race come out, and then I ran to the other side of the room and then hit him a few more times, and then he died. I was like,
if I remember correctly, one of the times I killed him, I used a bunch of fire runes that I laid out before I put the skull down on the,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because fire keeps him from regenerating health or whatever.
Yeah, isn't it when he does that blizzard?
Yeah.
I think he stamps on the thing, and when he stamps on that and he does that big massive blizzard, that's when he regens health.
Yeah.
But that Bolide was doing a ton of damage.
There's a couple of ledges that you can sort of crab up onto that are semi-safe too if you want to snipe at them for a while.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
If you got a powerful enough bow.
I just went in through the front door though. You can get in there through a Reekling cave. You can go through a Reekling cave and go all the way through and come out into the palace.
Yeah, glacial
Is that the same cave where you get his skull?
Yeah.
No, the cave's on the other side where what's it?
It's a glacial cave.
Glacial cave, and it's near where you get the first piece of Deathbrand armor, that little island.
Yeah, well, glacial cave's where you get the skull.
Yeah, that's where the skull is. Yeah, before you head into the Karstag caverns.
Yeah. So you can go two ways. You can get in there through like a dungeon crawl type thing.
Yeah,
filled with Reeklings, or you can just go in through the front door, which has got a master lock on it.
Yeah, you can pick it. That's true. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, when you go through the door, there's a Reekling on a boar. So you get
always,
and then you die straight away because it rams right into your face. This was fun.
Yeah, those boar ones, man.
Hit like a truck.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing for me is that she also has no archery.
Oh, so you got to get up close to everything.
Yeah.
Oof. With Karstag, that's not exactly fun.
No, because he's got that ice cloak. Thing going on.
That's that is pretty rough. But
when you can, you on a dual power attack with 30.8, I think is the highest I can get. You can definitely do some serious damage.
You got any followers that can keep him distracted, or are you just running away and hiding?
Lydia and the Reekling.
You only need like one piece of resist frost on Lydia, and she's nearly 100% resistant to frost damage.
Yeah,
because she's a Nord already. So, and I think Reeklings are resistant to frost naturally as well. I think.
That's very possible. Yeah. I mean, I would think they would have to be since that's where they exist.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
you
and
say
they
that,
run
but
around with no pants.
yeah, but the snow elves are not, which is kind of weird.
No, that's true.
Yeah, the Falmer, they're not resistant to cold damage.
You would think they would be, since they are
Yeah.
snow elves, technically, as we found out.
Well, according to this, Reeklings are 25 points resistant to frost.
Oh, there you go.
So not as good as Nords.
It's because they're
pretty
naked.
tough.
If they weren't naked,
If
they
they
would be.
put some clothes on, they'd go higher.
Yeah, exactly. This is a problem.
Interesting little side note here. I'm just looking through the UESP. The mounted Reeklings are immune to paralysis.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, that's interesting.
But yeah, you also don't have to worry. You can give them all the weapons and armor you want to, to carry, and they won't equip any of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, my the goblin's the same way. You can give them like everything, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Although you can give them a bow.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because I gave him a bow with soul trap on it, and he was using it. Of course, he didn't trap any souls, but like, wait a minute, that's supposed to work.
Oh man.
But
Well. Yeah.
I just came across the werewolves in Solstheim that I forgot that you could buy the rings from. That give you buffs to your werewolf. Being a werewolf.
Are you a werewolf?
I am currently a werewolf. I'm in the middle of the companion, so I'm a werewolf. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say they don't normally interact with you unless you are a werewolf.
Yeah, I fell off the cliff above their heads and landed there. And I was
hey
like,
guys, just thought I'd drop in.
I was like, oh great, either this is going to be a fight or I'm going to die falling. And then I landed, and they're like, oh hey, you're a werewolf too. And I'm like, oh well, that was lucky. You got anything to sell? And they have the 4 rings there where you like they have buffs for being a werewolf. I think one is it allows you to regen health. Another one, your shout lasts longer. The other one, you do 50% more damage, but you also take 50% more damage. And I forget what the last one was.
Are they the same ones that are the werebears?
No.
No, the werebears are in a different area. These guys were at what was it called? Frost Moon Crag.
Oh, okay.
It's near the abandoned shack and Mirek Temple.
Yep, it's just west of Mirek's Temple, actually. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And the other one is Hersine's Shrine, I think.
There's like an oh, that's it. Yeah.
That's one of the skull quests, the werebear thing. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think you can just run across them. There is a skull quest.
His brother, the hunter's
yeah.
brother, told something or other. Yeah.
And you try and talk about it, but he just turns.
Yeah.
And like, good news, I killed him.
Yeah. So let's see. So with Karstag, of course, you get the summon Karstag.
Oh, I can use that in the Deathbrand quest when I finally get there.
Can you always summon him outside?
Only. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
crap.
Yeah. Because he's big. Yeah. I don't think you can summon him inside.
Yeah.
It's like what's his name? The dragon, Durnavir. Yeah. Has to be outside.
I summoned him inside once.
Really?
Yeah, in the Azadel fight.
Oh, really?
Azadel right at in was it Genaria Argvalen's playthrough in like the second or third roundtable we done.
Oh wow! I did not realize you could do that.
Well, yeah, I think that's not the only place I've summoned him as well. I think there was another fight, maybe the Mages Guild with the skeleton dragon.
Oh, yeah. In the dungeon there. I wonder if there's areas where it's big enough to be able to summon the larger creatures.
I think Karastag. I mean, if it specifically states outside, it's probably.
I don't think it does. I think I just assumed that because like giants are always outside. Although there's a few caves where you find giants.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
one by the tree and
The Malakath quest for the hammer.
Yeah, the Malkath one. Yeah, they're inside in that cave, but it's a
I did.
big, like a very large cave. It's not.
Yeah, it was just I used to saying that only outside. I used a scroll that was called a new one from Apocalypse I hadn't seen before. It was called Twister. And basically, you summon a giant twister,
Oh,
and I
wow.
threw it at some Forsworn. They were running at me across the bridge, so they were all like 2 or 3 of them were all grouped together, and I just let it go, and literally it just picks them up into the air. There's just a massive cyclone, probably about twice the size of Karstag, just going straight up to the air, and it just spin and spin and spin, and then it just dissipates, and they're like 20 foot in the air, and they just go flying off in different directions. It was amazing.
So if we have that, I guess we just have Kent's feedback. All right, let's take a listen to that.
Dawnstar. After finishing our quest in the Ethereum Forge, Berlina wanted to head back to the College of Winterhold, so we followed the northern coast. At one point, as we rested on a path, a group of Thalmor agents walked past. They were escorting a prisoner. He was a Nord, and judging by the Thalmor's chatter, he was a Talos worshipper. I asked if he was a Stormcloak, and the agent said to mind our own business. But the Nord looked at me, shaking his head no. So the man was arrested for simply worshipping Talos, even though he was not a Stormcloak? I found it increasingly frustrating to be aiding the Thalmor. But what choice did I have? They've declared peace with my people and are protecting my religion. Eventually we came upon the village of Dawnstar, a frigid, desolate town. It was the polar opposite of the forests of Valenwood. I was freezing and miserable, even covered in my cloak. How can any human live here? Not long after our arrival, rumors of nightmares plaguing the citizens caught our attention. After asking around, we met Arender, a Dunmer, and a priest of Mara. Since we were travelers, he asked for our help in dealing with the nightmares. Apparently, the Daedra of Vermina was behind it. Her followers had once occupied an old ruin near the town, and was experimenting with Vermina's artifact, the Skull of Corruption. Arender confessed he was once a cultist follower of Vermina. 10 years ago, orcs had attacked the cultists, and Arender set off a gas in the ruin to put everyone to sleep to allow the skull to absorb the memories of the orcs. But Arender fled, so now that we returned, they were awaking from a years-long slumber. We killed the cultists, and unfortunately had to kill the orcs as well. They were confused and attacked us, not even willing to listen to us. Eventually, we killed 2 of Arender's allies. They called him Casimir, his old name from his life as a cultist. The thought occurred to me, what would happen if I were to abandon my post as a Thalmor agent? Would I have to change my name? Would I stay in Skyrim? Why am I even considering giving up my agency here? Before I could ponder this further, a voice sounded in my head. A female. Vermina. She was tempting me to kill Arender and take the Skull of Corruption for myself. To oblivion with her. Literally. How I wish I could clamp a bear trap on her ass. Unfortunately, my traps have been rather useless on all these quests. Regardless, I ignored her, smiling as Arender destroyed the staff. Eventually, Vermina might find another mortal to remake it, but at least for a time it would not be in my world. Arender said he would stay here, and that if I ever needed his help, he would join me. Berlina and I returned to Dawnstar. The Jarl summoned us. He said there was a giant needing to be killed. Giants are known to be tough creatures, but not aggressive. What had this one done? I asked the Jarl. He didn't respond directly, but he said if I did kill the giant, I'd become Thane and able to purchase property. I assumed there was a reason for it, but knowledge I was not privileged to. I was used to that as a Thalmor agent. Brilliant and I journeyed over the mountains south of Dawnstar to the very southern edge of the Pale. I could actually see Dragon's Reach Keep and Whiterun in the far distance. We found the giant and its camp and killed it, along with 2 mammoths that attacked us. We searched his camp, but could not find any clues as to why this giant needed to die. No valuables belonging to people, no other dead bodies. I felt sad. Night was coming, and with it a storm. Just up the hill from the giant's camp we found an inn. It was abandoned and sore need of repair. An old faded sign said, Helyarkin Hall. As worn as it was, it had potential. The main hall could seat many guests at a table, with a huge fireplace to keep warm. The west wing was a bedroom, the east wing a kitchen, and the north wing was a storage area. The roof of the bedroom looked to provide a beautiful view to the south. I wondered if I could purchase this old inn from the Jarl's steward. After the storm passed, we made our way back to Dawnstar. Sure enough, the steward allowed us to purchase that very inn. We spent a few weeks restoring it, hiring local craftsmen to restore it to its former glory. We stayed there, entertaining guests. So close to Whiterun, we often had Imperial and Stormcloaks both seek shelter there. Although we were fortunate they never had stayed the same night. That would have been a mess. We continued to help the people of the Pale. We delivered supplies, helped the local traders, craftsmen, and explored the occasional ruin. Life was peaceful and fun, but that came to an end when he showed up. My Thalmor superior. I had not seen him in a couple of years. We primarily contacted each other through letters. The typical Thalmor high elf, so arrogant you could smell it. Must be the cologne he uses made from flowers from the Somerset Isles. Your time of inconspicuous errands has come to an end, he declared. The Empire needed help ending the rebellion with more direct action. Not far to the east of Helmark Hall was an ancient Nordic ruin, called Corvinjund. I was to meet with Legate Rick, right hand of General Tullius. The Stormcloaks were after the Jagged Crown, an ancient heirloom that Ulfric Stormcloak believed would help win over the undecided Nords of Skyrim to his cause. Legend had it that whoever found the crown would be the next king of Skyrim. My superior said he'd stay behind at the inn until we finished our mission. He wanted an update as soon as possible. Brelina and I set out immediately. She didn't comment on our mission, or the presence of the Thalmor agent staying at our inn. Was she as conflicted as I? I was a wood elf. She's a dark elf. We were both mer, not men. Was this war really our fight to wage? Our battle to die in? We arrived at Corvinjund, but the Stormcloaks had already set up a defense. It was a quick battle. The Imperial forces overwhelmed the Stormcloaks. Legate Rick in particular was an impressive fighter. It seemed she just couldn't die, like she was too important to the gods for some reason. Anyways, I didn't fire one arrow, even though Brelina joined the fight by conjuring Atronachs to assault the Stormcloaks. I took a defensible position next to my wife, but I cannot bring myself to kill the Stormcloaks. Once we entered the ruins, the fight was much of the same. Imperials cut through the Stormcloaks. In one larger room, it seemed we hit the last of their forces. They put up a better fight this time, but all were defeated. I knelt by the body of one, still breathing as he bled from a fatal wound to his stomach. I froze. I knew him. Thorold Greymane. My God, Y'ffre, what have I done? I once saved this man's life, only to wage a war and fight against him? He's spent the last couple of years defending his faith, and I've allied with the Thalmor in religious persecution. The thought occurred to me, do I believe in Y'ffre or not? Silly question, of course. I did believe in him. But if I think the only way to protect my faith is to ally myself with cruelty, then I'm essentially denying the power Y'ffre possesses. I stood up, ready to use my bow against the Imperials with us, but Brelina grabbed my arm, shaking her head silently. Y'ffre, bless her, she always seemed to know what I was thinking. She pointed at a nearby pair of coffins. In a Nordic ruin, that only meant one thing. Draugr. A slight smile came across my face. Brelina saw it, smiling as well as she nodded her head. We let the Imperial soldiers proceed, defending ourselves against the Draugr that attacked us, but doing nothing to defend the Imperial soldiers. Eventually, all that remained was Legate Rick, Brelina, and I. In the final room, there was 3 more Draugr, known as Death Lords. One of them was even wearing the Jagged Crown itself. They were powerful, and even knew dragon shouts. In this case, I decided to help Legate Rick stay alive. Once we defeated them, we searched the room. There was another word wall where I learned the slow time shout. How useful this will be as an archer. Finally, I took the Jagged Crown off the dead Draugr's head. I was careful to the corpse and laid its head gently on the ground. You fought well even in death, I whispered to him. I didn't know if his soul could hear me, but maybe from his seat in Sovereign Guard he could. I put the crown in my pack, telling Legate Rick we would head with haste to Solitude, deliver it to General Tullius, but gave her the offer of staying a night at our inn if she needed rest. She nodded, thanking me. Is your Thalmor agent still at the inn? She asked, with a smirk. I was shocked. But if she knew about my Thalmor agent, then General Tullius probably did as well. I nodded, and she asked what his name was. Figured it wouldn't hurt to tell her at this point. His name is Onkano. As Brelena and I left the ruin, she whispered to me, You're not taking the crown to Solitude, are you? It was more of a statement than a question. I shook my head. No. We headed south to the main road, but once we lost sight of Corvinjund, we turned east, towards Windhelm. We traveled through the night just in case Legate Rick discovered our betrayal. We were exhausted when we reached the Stormcloak capital, but we went straight to the keep, called Palace of the Kings. Ulfric immediately accepted our audience. He was surprised we were giving him the crown. I wonder, was he fighting this war for his faith? For his countrymen? Or for himself? I didn't know the answer, and doubted he would tell. I figured the best option was to tell him my intentions. I told him that I could no longer stand for the persecution of his faith, but hoped that he would end the racism the Stormcloaks held in their hearts against elves. He made no promises, but did express his gratitude in giving him the crown. Unfortunately for us, Ulfric told us we needed to leave Skyrim. Since I was a recent agent of the Thalmor, my allegiance would be forever in question as long as the Civil War continued. Only when the Stormcloaks are victorious in the war will we be allowed to return. Even being the Dragonborn wasn't enough for me to stay. I nodded in silent agreement, and Brelena and I left the keep. But where would we go? Skyrim had become my home. Harsh as the land was, I had fallen in love with it, and the life I had made for myself here. I didn't want to return to Valenwood. I couldn't return to Cyrodiil, since my betrayal of the Empire would surely be known there. Morrowind was still suffering from the Red Mountains eruption. As I pondered where to go, I heard bells ringing over the city wall. We were near the docks. We wandered there, asking where the ships were headed. The next one to leave was heading to Solstheim. I've never been there. It has a strong Dunmer population. Sounds perfect. We set sail that night, with what little we had on us. And that brings me to the end of this current entry in Grail's journal. As far as the gameplay, I'm pretty much sticking to the sneaky archer thing, which is very common from how the playstyle I have been used to playing. But of course, without putting a single point in sneak. But at this point, as Stephen had originally commented, I think I'm a level 50 something now, and even without a single point in sneak, not even the extra damage from the sneak bonus, my archery skill is just so high that I can do this sneaky archer thing just fine without it. Let's see. Traps are tons of fun. I'm still able to use them pretty effectively in kind of the random dungeon diving and stuff like that. But I have more challenge in the quests that we're doing using the bear traps. I think it's partly because I have a companion who loves to screw that shit up, even though she is my wife. And, fun fact, we got married. I don't think I included that in the last one, but it was a lot of fun doing the whole Temple of Mara thing and Riften getting married, and Goldair was there, so I like to say he was my best man. It was a blast. It was a party. But yeah, so, using the traps in these quests, there's a lot of urgency in these quests in some cases where I don't have the time to set the pace and fight how I would like to with my role play of the character being a hunter. But I still get a chance to use the traps and just random dungeon diving and whatnot. The lockpicking with the Ordinator mod with the bear traps is pretty awesome. The perks you can get for that, adding damage effects, able to carry 3 traps at a time. It does really kind of become a lot of fun once you've gotten accustomed to the slower pace of that gameplay style and being more of a stalker kind of character. Let's see, Grael, his betrayal was something I actually wanted to do from the beginning, even though I did roll Empire. I kind of saw the potential for him to be the outsider going into a foreign land and becoming kind of captivated by the culture there and flipping against his original purpose there once he realized his purpose there was betraying who he was at his core. And let's see. And obviously, I did some headcanon in these quests, just kind of picturing how things I think would have gone or should have gone and would have been better if they had done it. For example, imagining Thorold, Greymane, or any other Stormcloak you had helped if they were there at the ruin where the Jagged Crown is, or maybe even at the Battle of Whiterun. I think if the game had done that, where any Stormcloak you had helped or come across earlier, if they were at that point non-essential, if their quests were essentially ended, they would just be on the other side fighting against you. And so there could be potential for that gut-wrenching feeling like, wait, I just saved this dude's life and now I just killed him. Or if you're siding with the Stormcloaks, you've saved Thorold's life and now he's beside you attacking. You get Hadver and for the Empire, and for the Stormcloaks you'll get Ralof, whatever his name is, a lot, Meatloaf. I know those two guys kind of show up a lot, and of course so does Leggett Rick, but I don't know. Obviously I'm kind of nitpicking because this game's 8 years old, but I certainly hope Elder Scrolls 6 does a little bit more of that, because the Fallout games in particular I think are better with more kind of consequence. Even Fallout 3, which only was heck 2 years before Skyrim came out, actually did a better job with that. So kind of funny they didn't quite nail as much consequence in this game. Let's see. And, finally, Solstheim. Fun fact, I've never been to Solstheim as a player, ever. This is literally, this Roundtable character with Grail will be my first time ever stepping foot on that. And actually, I just went there a few days back, kind of pittered around Raven Rock and the shoreline there, doing a couple little side quests. Back when the DLC Dragonborn came out, I was having so much fun in Skyrim proper that I just didn't bother going there. And then I kind of fell out of gaming for a while, for a couple of years. And then and that was back on the 360. So now that I've got the PC, of course, running the mods and all that, I went ahead and just bought the Game of the Year edition, which included everything. So when I hopped back into this about a year and some change ago, again, I just was having so much fun in Skyrim, I just never bothered to go to Solstheim. And so, being right there in Windhelm, it was just too good to be true to kind of have that be a story point where he has to set sail from that point and leave Skyrim for good. And so I'm going to have a ton of fun exploring Solstheim for the first time ever. I kind of know all about the fight with Merrick and all that. And, I did get attacked by the cultists because I did reach that point where I went and visited the Greybeards. I didn't include that here in my journal, but I do plan on taking care of Merrick first there, so I can at least put that in the books and then focusing on the side quests that we start taking care of on Solstheim. There is one house you can acquire on Solstheim in Raven Rock. It's connected to a quest, I noticed, from one of the many Dunmer that are there. However, there's not a conflict per se, but an issue with it where you can't set it as a primary house. So if you ever send your follower or wife steward back home, quote unquote, if they're supposed to typically go to a house, they won't go to that house. They'll go to whatever Hearthfire house that you have set as your primary home. So just be mindful of that if you're ever sending your companions away. But yeah, looking forward to Solstheim. Going to be a fun time. And and then Fallout. Wow, I'm going to be hopping in on that Fallout roundtable with Fallout 3, which was my first Fallout game. So that we'll be having some fun over there. Anyways, Michael, Stephen, Ray, Juan, Victor, whoever's hosting this edition of the podcast. I hope you're doing well, and happy holidays. Bye.
All right, thank you, Kenneth. He ended up right at Solstheim, it sounds like.
Yes, he ended up having to go to Solstheim.
Yeah,
it really is good feedback. And I would like to say to Kenneth that the cologne that you smelled is not from flowers of Somerset Isle, but from the plucked wings of butterflies, which high elves are well known to cruelly pluck as often as possible.
Oh man.
Is anybody that's used their Imperius races knows for sure.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I'm glad he stuck with us through this year-long travail.
Yeah,
through,
well, I'd
Hearthfire.
like to hear more of his adventures on Solstheim. So,
Yeah, if he keeps the character going, I mean, just
yeah,
keep going with it, man.
Yeah.
And now you can hear him on the feedback episodes of the Fallout 3 Roundtable.
Oh, that's right. He's doing Fallout 3, right?
Yeah.
In Fallout 3.
God, I love Fallout 3. I think because it reminds me a lot of Oblivion.
Yeah, it doesn't remind me of Oblivion at all, so I like to play it.
Oh man, where the hell
They
did
both remind me why I don't like to go back too many generations and play.
Yeah, well, yeah, that I understand that. Yeah. There are things you have to, I guess, accept or something.
I'm just such a graphics whore. I can't help it. I like gameplay is almost secondary to looks to me. I just have to be able to be in a world.
And my issue wasn't really so much that as it was that, I would click the mouse and then 2 or 3 seconds later the sword would swing.
Yeah, it's like playing Witcher 1. If you've ever played Witcher 1, it's just it's painful. Yeah, it's just awful. Yeah, or Morrowind.
Oh God, I've tried that. That's hard.
Yeah, it is. Combat is totally different.
It's very hard to go back there. Yeah, I have to admit. Right now, I'm trying to find a stupid dragon that I shot out of the sky.
Who knows?
And it's up on that hill. Well, when you have the dragons come in, what you call it?
In Autumn's Watch.
Raven Rock.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the hill right above the mine.
Oh yeah.
Well, when they come in for a crash landing, they always go up on the hill, but there's no easy way up the damn hill.
You just go up towards the mine and take a right behind the smelter.
Oh, is that where it is?
Yep.
Yeah, there's a little path up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that always gets me is Autumn's Watch. They'll end up on that hill above you, fighting whatever happens to spawn there, either draugrs or skeletons.
Actually, that reminds me, the smelter just kicked off a little brain thing. Back to the Hearthfire Heliarch Hall. This is the first one I built that I did not build the cellar. I meant to say that when you guys were talking about the shrines, because you can, if you build the armory, you get an armor bench and a grindstone and a tanning rack, and you can use the anvil that comes in the house anyway, and you can build a smelter outside. So you really don't need the basement to do smithing. So I decided not to build the basement at all in that one. Plus, I used a couple of mods. I'm using a lot of new texture mods, so the house looks totally different. And there's a nice mod called Hearthfire Extended, which fixes some of the lighting issues inside the houses. So the light sources actually come from real lights instead of this sort of disgusting green glow that's in most of the Hearthfire and vanilla houses. So it looks a lot nicer. There's actually shadows and light sources and things. So I highly recommend that if anybody's using that. But don't try to add Heliarch and Farm mid playthrough, because that won't
that won't work.
No, not well. Things will crash. So don't do that.
Oh man, so that sounds good then. I won't do that.
Yeah.
I'm just about to go and kill the giant, so I'm gonna be able to get the Dawnstar house.
Oh, okay, yeah, be able to get
Because I'm like level 25, and this will be my first house. I literally have nowhere to store my shit.
Oh, I hate that.
Oof.
Yeah, you have to be 20, I think, to even kick that off, don't you? To get Helliarchan Hall.
I believe so. Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, that has been our roundtable for the year.
Yeah, and this was a lot of fun. I
Yeah.
did. It took 3 characters and a lot of. It was great. It was really for me anyway, and
I
not for
enjoyed
Ray,
it.
but it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed sort of creating different characters for different series of quests. It was good.
Yeah, me too. I like that. I changed up for the end here, and then this character I'm gonna be playing quite a lot because I'm really, really going back into it heavy. Just kind of doing everything because it's been so long doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, people were asking, and yeah, we can come up with another roundtable for next year, kind of a loose one like this year.
That'd be fun. Oh, were they? Okay, cool.
Yeah, a
are we
couple
gonna,
people
Are we
had
going
asked.
to do an Outer Worlds roundtable too?
Ooh,
Colin was talking about that last time.
That's
Yeah, I was
good.
going to ask him when the show was over.
Oh, yeah, we can do that. I have it loaded up. I haven't played it
Sorry,
yet. I
Colin.
haven't
I
loaded
didn't
it.
mean to steal your thunder.
I've been wanting to play it. This will force me to play it.
Yeah. No. I'm totally into that.
I loaded it
yeah.
up on Game Pass, so I'm all for that.
All of us are interested. I was going to ask you if you would be okay with it, if of us doing a round table of this, of the Outer Worlds.
Oh yeah, go for it.
All of us here. Pat, was Andrew? I don't think Andrew's bought it, but I don't know whether
No,
he'd be interested in doing it. I was also hoping to ask Jessica.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Jess plays it.
And I've forgotten her name. The one that does the Fallout, the other Fallout show.
Oh, Shalene.
Shalene. Yeah. We're gonna ask them to sort of like put it out there, see if they want to join us for the Outer Worlds roundtable. But I'm not too sure about building a character generator. I think I might just let you all do whatever characters you want and see if we can get loads of different builds that way. With the amount of people that's going to be playing, you're probably going to get a lot of different builds.
Well, you've played a lot. You've played it through a lot, so maybe you can sort of advise. Would it work with little strips of paper and stuff like that, or because I've only built one character in it so far, and I haven't taken the character very far in the game either. So it's not. There aren't the same levels of classes and things like that, right? So.
No, and you can sort of like it's definitely a game that lends itself well to min max or whatever that is. So you can go all out and sort of like a sniper type build, which is probably like it's definitely a sneaky archer material, same as Skyrim. It's very hard to stick with like an ideal. Like if you want to just go with handguns. It's quite difficult to be able to do enough damage with just handguns. So different enemies and different situations call for you to have like you can utilize a lot of different things, different weapons. So you'll want to carry a long range sniper rifle type thing, and then you've got a close range type shotgun type situation, and then you need like. If you're going to do damage to enemies without armor, you need plasma. And if you're going to do damage to robots, you need shock, ammunition, and that sort of stuff. Iron mods on your weapons and that sort of thing. But definitely the character build, you can all choose different ones. You can...
Whoop, did I lose you? Did we lose Colin?
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. I'm totally down for that.
Yeah.
It's a really fun game.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it. Sounds good to me.
I hope Colin's willing to pick the quest series.
Wherever he vaporized to.
The episode. Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
There you are. Okay.
Sorry, I think on my mic sort of like went to doolally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so quest-wise, probably just do it per area. So start off, probably just stick to the main quest, and then everybody can do their own thing. But it's short enough of a game that you could do the entire game in a roundtable series.
Yeah.
it's not a huge amount. I mean, obviously for your first playthrough, we'd probably be still going, but once you've played through about 3 or 4 times, you can plan out as you're doing your playthrough. So, excuse me, sorry. You can go to the same sort of places and time when you're doing all your quests. So you can, like, go to this one area and get 3 or 4 quests done, and then move to this area and get sort of like, that amount of quests done. Yeah. So, or have these certain followers at this particular point in time. But the best thing is probably the followers. That is the best part of the game. You definitely want to go with a very do at least one playthrough where you've got high leadership and like a leadership skill, so inspiration and determination, where you're getting your followers and sort of like giving them boosts, everything like that. Mm-hmm. That was amazing. And they all have, so if you go through the entire game with just 2 followers all the time, they will have advancing conversations between them. So you'll go out and go to a certain area and they'll talk about something, and then you'll go out, do a few more quests, and you go somewhere else, and then they'll continue that conversation. Like, other things have happened within that time while they've been on their ship, and it's advanced and advanced. So, it's probably endless, the combinations of, and also the NPCs that you interact with. Your followers will interact with them as well. They will have reactions, or they'll cut in at certain points, and you don't know. So sometimes you go to a certain place and go, well, if I bring him, he's going to be good at hacking, and he's going to be good at intimidating, and he's going to be good at lockpicking. But if I bring them, they might have something to say about that asshole that I don't like, and I want them to come along and say that, and they do. They sort of like, this guy's an asshole, boss. The little example was absolutely amazing. There's this quest, and was it, you're going into this area to do this like clandestine, like corporate espionage or something like that. And there's one of these rooms that you got to get into to be able to get to the computer, to get to the terminal. And you get to the door that you need to go through, and it's locked. And I didn't have enough lock picking to get through it. But you can go through this other door, which goes through another room, and then gets to that room finally. But you got to get past a couple of auto mechanicals. So you open the door, and the auto mechanical sort of like pulls your face in and starts talking to you, and he's saying, and he goes, was it not recognized, blah, 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 initiating combat procedures. And you're like, your speech thing comes up. No, don't initiate combat procedures. quit, don't do it. And then it's just like attack. And he starts firing it, killing it. And I played through quite a few times. And then I went in there one day with Felix. And I go in there and walk through the door, and the robot's talking to me, going, unidentified, blah, blah, blah. You're not like Auntie Cleo's or Rizzo's employees. And Felix goes, oh, yeah, we are a couple of, hot shots from Byzantium. Yeah, that's right. And the robot turns back around and says, okay, threat level dropped down to 25%.
Oh, man.
And they turn off their weapons, and you can turn around to Felix and goes, oh, Felix, man, they felt sorry for you. His attempt at trying to deceive them was so bad that they thought, this guy is no threat, and just let you walk through. And I thought, because when you think about the quest, think about who you're going to bring in there with you, he is definitely not one of the ones that you think that you should bring in, because he hasn't got the toolkit to be able to deal with it. But that moment was just inspired.
That is awesome. That's really cool. So it's very much a game that's built for multiple playthroughs.
Yeah,
I think I've had like 7 or 8 playthroughs now.
Wow, 7. Wow. That's
well, then you have to be our impresario for the roundtable.
Oh, I don't mind. So like, but I'm pretty more sure that all the entertainment is going to come from you guys.
Well, I'd like to do it as a I'm gonna save playing the game until we start the roundtable. So I don't want to.
We can start mid-January, hopefully, or just after the
Yeah, sounds good.
New Year,
Yeah.
early January to mid-January,
Yeah.
and then we can start. Then I'll come up with a schedule for the quest.
And then later on in the year, maybe we can do some PC modded Skyrim roundtable or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Legacy of the Dragonborn might be a little too ambitious. I don't know. That's like everything.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind doing a Skyrim roundtable concurrently. The same, because this one was like, once every 2 months, once every 3 months, or something like that. So
yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
We had a lot of time to do it, and I always like to keep Skyrim in the back pocket, as somebody else said in the group, who sort of like they just fired up Skyrim and sort of like it felt like coming home or something like that. And I was like, yeah, damn right it is.
Yeah, I'd like to. I want to. I don't know if this character is going to be the one, but I'd like to create a character that I can get to a certain point, and that's relatively vanilla, mod wise. That I can then safely add different, large scale quest mods to and play through, and then sort of go back to that same save and add another one and go back because it's too hard to add too many of those and not run into bugs. But I really want to do Carved Brink. I'd like to do, Clockwork City. I'd like to do Project AHO. There's a whole bunch of really big quest mods out there that are, but most of them are PC only, or a lot of them are.
I was looking at the patcher for Legacy of the Dragonborn, and I was thinking of like going through the patcher, because the only one I have on there is like opulent outfits and immersive armors and immersive creatures, but they have a few quest mods in there that they have display rooms for all the items from. And was it Helgen Reborn is one of them.
Yeah, well, that's been so Legacy of the Dragonborn. In case you haven't followed it since the very beginning, one of the first mods that it actually incorporated into Legacy of the Dragon was Moonpath to Elsewhere, and Helgen Reborn's been in it. But what they've done with version 5 now, he's created a framework so that quest mod authors can, I think they sort of, I don't want to use the word apply, but they write to the Legacy team and say, can you incorporate our mod into Legacy, and the Legacy team will look at it and then incorporate it and add a new spot in the museum for whatever quest mod that is. So there's all kinds of expansion possibilities. Version 5 has added a whole mess of stuff. They've completely revamped the player home, completely redone the archaeology system. They've completely redone the copy desk, or whatever you call it. So when you I don't know, when you grab something like the Jagged Crown, well, you have to give it back, the real one back to Ulfric, but you can make a copy of it that you can use. Or you can make a copy of it to put in the museum or whatever, So, and so they've redone that. They've redone the whole loot system where it will automatically, it was kind of buggy where you'd walk into your player home area and everything you had in your inventory would automatically sort of populate different chests, and it was just, I didn't like it at all. I don't like that sort of loss of control, and I think they've completely redone that as well. So it's a whole new thing, and plus they're working on the next sort of the sequel to Legacy of the Dragonborn. I forget what it's called, but that's a huge mod that's itself is going to be showing up in the next year or so. So
yeah, I'm waiting on the next one in the Beyond Skyrim thingy. I don't know which one they're doing though.
Yeah, I forget too. I don't remember. I haven't even finished Rigmore of Cyrodiil, so I don't know. or all of Bruma yet. So,
Hmm.
but those are incorporated into Legacy, right? Bruma isn't it?
I don't think Bruma is. Have a
Bruma
look
isn't,
at the
okay.
patches. I had a look on there and I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's just that it's too big or they turned it down or what.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Anyway, so yes, there's tons of content out there that we could do roundtables for.
For sure.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
So, yeah.
And of course, Skyrim. Of course, some type of Skyrim is coming to ESO.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was the latest announcement.
Oh, missed that.
Dark Skyrim, I think it's called.
Dark Heart of Skyrim, is that what it was?
Dark Heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dark Heart. I haven't played that in near almost a year now. So
Mm. Yeah, there is speculation that it might be like Blackreach.
Oh, wow.
But I don't think anybody knows exactly if it's going to be like a full blown
DLC
or
just
just
a dungeon crawl.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
I think it's at CES in Las Vegas in January. They're doing the full announcement.
Cool.
And then I assume that E3 this year will be the what's the space game?
Starfield.
Starfield, that's it.
I don't know. Bethesda is pretty screwed up these days, if you ask me. I don't know what the hell's going on with it. I really don't. So
hopefully that'll be then, because the next gens are this next upcoming holiday season.
yeah.
Holiday 2020.
Yeah. So it makes sense for a Starfield release with that.
Totally. Yeah, I agree. Well,
fingers crossed.
Yeah.
The sooner Starfield
fingers
releases,
crossed that it's good.
Yeah.
You know, really. As much as you guys enjoy playing 76 together, I'm not sure it's a great game. It's a lot of fun to play, but
it's a lot of fun to play together.
Yeah. And so I wonder what
Starfield's single player, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I think
it was a single player.
The big
RPG.
thing these days is MMO RPG. It's like please give me another game like Skyrim that I can just live in and have agency and do stuff, or Outer Worlds. I don't want this MMORPG stuff. I respect it, and people who love to play it is great, but I want a really beefy RPG that I can really sink my teeth into.
Yeah.
And New World, Amazon's game that's coming out, that looks interesting, but again, it's another MMORPG that totally took a left turn. Sean was in the alpha; he was under NDA for a long time, and then after the alpha was done last summer, one of the directors left the project, and then so now the whole thing has taken a turn much more from survival towards PvP, PvE. So it looks like an interesting game, beautiful looking game. You can look up. They have a trailer out now for it, so check it out.
I'll have to take a look at that.
Yeah, it looks interesting, but again, it's yet another run around the world. Looks like Guild Wars meets ESO meets 17 other MMORPGs.
Well, that's our possible future plans.
Yeah,
and see how it goes in the new year. I guess until then, that's probably the last recording until the new year, I would assume.
Happy solstice, everybody.
Yeah, that was yesterday.
Yes, it was last night, 11:19 p.m.
Yeah, I'll be happy to get some more daylight. I'm getting a little sick of this. This darkness stuff.
Fuck that.
Yeah. I'm like, a little more daylight every day would be nice. I'm ready for that at this point. So yeah, we'll be back in the new year. I'm sure we'll have some regular episodes of just some modding and stuff like that. And I'm going to keep this character going. And then we'll see when the Outer Worlds thing will kick off too. And of course, we have some 10AD will be coming and getting close on the Lost. Apparently, I think there's a Lost episode somewhere. I think what happened, I think it's like 57 or 56. I don't know, something like that. Anyway, it doesn't exist. I think I misnumbered everything.
Oh no!
And just skipped an episode one time, and it just I don't know. So if you see a missing number, that's because it probably doesn't exist. Because I couldn't find it anywhere.
We'll have to go back and make one.
We'll just make one up. I mean, I don't know.
We're back, 4 years ago or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. If you see it skips a number, it's because I don't think that number exists anyway. I think that was a mislabeling of episodes at that point. So
gives the series intrigue.
That's it. If somebody can find that episode, that would be amazing.
I'll win a prize.
Yeah, exactly.
Unspecified.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. We'll be back soon. Take care.
Good night, all.
Later, guys.
Right.